what is the permanent approach? So the permanent approach is number 1, maintenance of buffer stock. Maintenance of buffer stock. So ultimately with the help of FCI, Food Corporation of India, FCI, with the help of Food Corporation of India, Government of India maintain the buffer stock of rice and wheat, so that whenever there is inflation in an economy due to shortage of rice and wheat, we will release rice and wheat from our buffer stock. So you can say, for example, if suppose assume that due to poor monsoon there is a shortage of rice. Okay, there is a shortage of rice, or you can say nowadays you know that wheat is produced where? Wheat is produced in North India. Okay, so you can say temperate climate is needed, so it is a Rabi season crop. So you know that nowadays in North India, if I talk about, you can say Punjab, Haryana, so now Punjab and Haryana is facing rainfall these days. Now due to that rainfall there are chances that wheat cultivation or wheat crop get damaged. So ultimately there will be shortage or not? Yes, definitely. And due to this shortage, cost push inflation will be there, but government is ready with that. That is, they have maintained buffer stock, so they will release rice and wheat from this buffer stock. So in newspapers sometime you see that there are two terms, like Bharat rice. So this is current affair. Bharat rice, Bharat wheat. So government is selling Bharat rice and Bharat wheat from its buffer stock in order to ensure price stability. Okay, in order to ensure price stability. Clear? So this is what first you have to understood. Second, okay, so I hope this point is clear to you. Okay, Bharat rice and Bharat wheat. So this is your current affair. Okay, so ultimately the purpose of Bharat rice and Bharat wheat is you can say a part to control inflation. Okay, number 2, if you see the second part, now you know that when it comes to fertilizer, so there are 3 major fertilizer, NPK. So if you see with respect to urea, India is largest producer, largest consumer and largest importer also. So we are dependent on urea, that is nitrogen, import of nitrogen. Now when it comes to phosphorus, we are 50% we are producing in India, 50% we are producing in India and 50% we are importing from outside. Okay, now whatever we are producing in India, that is phosphorus, raw material comes from outside. So directly, indirectly, for phosphorus we are dependent on outside. Now when it comes to potassium, so in case of potassium also 100%, or you can say there is zero production of potassium in our country. So 100% we produce from outside. So NPK. So with respect to fertilizer we are dependent on import. We are dependent on import, and that is why our government is emphasizing on nano urea. Okay, nano DAP, nano urea and nano DAP. So in budget 2024, Government of India talks about nano DAP. So nano DAP production will start in coming financial year. Okay, so you can read this. I have covered this thing on, you can say, budget part, that you will find on KSG YouTube channel. So there you can see it is covered in 4 parts, budget portion. So there you can read it. Okay, so this is what you have to remember. Plus, government also launched one scheme, PM Pranam. which focus on domestic production of fertilizer in country. Domestic production of fertilizer, okay, in a country. Okay, domestic production of fertilizer in a country. Okay, by incentivizing the states. By incentivizing the states. Plus, if you see, government also focused on critical minerals. Okay, government also focus on critical minerals. Clear? Clear? So you know that there are 30 critical minerals. Out of that, 2 important minerals are potassium and phosphorus. So out of 30, these are the 2 important minerals, that is potassium and phosphorus. Okay. So ultimately critical minerals. So ultimately if you have resources or raw material, then only you can think of making fertilizer. So when you have your fertilizer production within the country, no doubt it is going to reduce the prices. So you know, you bring food from outside or you prepare the same food in your house, there is a cost difference. Clear? Clear? So this is what you have to understand. Third, when it comes to oil seeds, or I am talking about edible oil. So you will see 58% of our total edible oil consumption. So earlier it was 63-64%, now it has been reduced to 58%. Okay, so the new data that you have to remember, 58% of total consumption of edible oil in India is met through imports. Okay, so again we are a agriculture country and we are dependent on import of edible oil. Okay, so 58%, so you can say more than 50%. Okay, or you can say more than 50% of our edible oil consumption is met through imports, and that is why our government is emphasizing on National Palm Oil Mission. National Palm Oil Mission. So this is what you have to remember. Number 4. Okay, number 4. Now when it comes to petroleum products, okay, when it comes to petrol, or you can say crude oil or petrol, so with respect to crude oil, our government is having strategic petroleum reserves. So just like we are maintaining, so can anyone tell me where we have strategic petroleum reserves in a country? So this is you will say that this is a part of geography, so you must know the strategic petroleum reserves. So can anyone tell me where it is? Okay, so can anyone tell me where are strategic petroleum reserve? Please tell me. No idea. See, this is a part of geography. I hope you have covered in your basics. Please tell me. No one. So there are basically 6 locations. Okay, 6 locations like in Rajasthan. Okay, Rajasthan, Karnataka, Andhra, Odisha. Okay, so there are total 6 locations. Okay. Okay, so this is what you must know. So this is a part of either your geography or you can say current affair of geography. Clear? So you must be aware of that. So it remain in the news. Okay. Next, so ultimately, just like buffer stock, we are maintaining the stock of crude oil also. Okay, and here the point is this, that we have to maintain a stock of at least 90 days of crude oil. Okay, at least 90 days of crude oil, but currently we have only currently we have stock only 10 days of crude oil, but the proper we have to maintain at least. So this is the final outcome. So you don't have to remember that currently how much crude oil we are maintaining it, okay, because that will vary, okay, on day to day basis. So you have to remember that this is the at least 90 days we have to maintain. Okay, 90 days. Okay, so this is what you have to vary. So whenever there is a shortage of crude oil, or you can say whenever Gulf country increase the prices of crude oil, no doubt Indian economy has a reserve, so they will release strategic petroleum, they will release crude oil from the strategic petroleum reserve. So we don't have to worry for 90 days, at least for 3 months, and by the 3 months you can say these Gulf country will again reduce the prices. Clear? So this is what you can say, we are maintaining this stock. Okay, now fifth solution, that is blending of petrol. Blending of ethanol with petrol, sorry. Blending of ethanol with petrol. Similarly, in this budget, in budget 2024, okay, government says that we will blend compressed biogas, blend compressed biogas with CNG, okay, with CNG. Clear? Clear? So we will blend compressed biogas with CNG. So these are the another initiative they have taken in budget 2024. So please update yourself with current. Okay. Otherwise UPSC can give you the in any statement or this thing, and you are not aware of that. Okay, you are not aware of that, so definitely you will lose your marks. Clear? Clear. But again, when your statics or you can say concepts are clear, then only you can in a position to update the current affair. Otherwise, it's a very, you can say, fear factor game, that current affair, I have a fear with current affair. Okay, no doubt, definitely if your concepts are not clear, you will have a fear. Okay, and you must be in fear. Okay, so concept clarity is must. Clear? Next, if you see, no doubt we used to import, you can say, semiconductor, and ultimately nowadays semiconductor has also become essential item. Okay, so right now you see that smartphone is with everyone. Okay, car is with everyone. So in car we use semiconductors. Okay, so ultimately we call chips. Okay, don't think that potato chips and all those things. We are talking about chips, that is semiconductor. So these chips are used by everyone. So it means now it has become essential. So masses are using these chips. So in that way you can say that we are import dependent. Now government is trying to reduce it by introducing National Semiconductor Mission. National Semiconductor Mission. Now, two things are very important: semiconductor and AI. So, if you see, this semiconductor is important for economy also. Semiconductor is important for in, you can say, geography also, because again when we talk about semiconductor, so to make semiconductor you need minerals. Okay, you need some minerals. Okay, like silicon. Okay, now antimony. Okay, bismuth, beryllium. Okay, so ultimately these are all critical minerals. So again, as we talk about in fertilizers, so fertilizers about critical minerals. So 30 critical minerals are there. Okay, so in that 30 critical minerals, some minerals are relevant for your semiconductor and electronic industry. Okay, so ultimately it is important from point of view of geography, it is important from the point of view of economy, it is important from the point of view of governance also, that what is government strategy with respect to semiconductor, and it is important with respect to, you can say, environment and science and tech. Okay, like when I talk about environment, because this is a semiconductor industry. Okay, this is a semiconductor industry which require water, in large quantity. Okay, that is why if you see, most of the semiconductor industries are located near to the water bodies. Okay, so they require water. Okay, so ultimately environmental concern is there, water resource. Okay, even geography also it is overlapping. In science you must know about the technology part. Okay, whereas in economy you know about government policy with respect to semiconductor. Okay, so ultimately India want to become a global hub in semiconductor. Okay, so this is what you must know. I hope it is clear to you what I am basically saying you. Okay, moving further. Okay, moving further, so government focus on national semiconductor mission. Second thing is your artificial intelligence. Okay, second thing is artificial intelligence. Okay. Second thing is artificial intelligence. Okay, so artificial intelligence is also important. Okay, from both economy point of view as well as science point of view. Okay, economy and science only. Okay, so if you see artificial intelligence nowadays, okay, nowadays even if you see artificial intelligence is important in other areas also, like society concept also, but that is for means. Okay, but here we had come back to inflation topic. So this is with respect to, you can say, some permanent measures that our government is taking. Okay, some permanent approach that our government is taking with respect to cost push inflation. Now when it comes to structural, so let me complete structural and then I'll give you the break. Okay, now if I talk about structural, so in structural inflation, due to structural inflation, so as I told you, the reason for structural inflation is, you can say, infrastructure majorly. So in infrastructure, you can say the focus is on providing quality infrastructure, and particularly when I am talking about quality infrastructure, we are talking about in terms of road, railway, aviation or airways, waterways, shipping. Okay, so if you see, even if you are reading newspaper, like in today's Delhi edition of The Hindu, in business paper you will find one news that government is going to launch India Maritime Development Fund. Okay, so ultimately it is with respect to shipping and waterways only. Clear? So ultimately government used to take so many measures with respect to improving the quality infrastructure, and if you see some of the major initiative that has been taken in last 5-6 years, like for example National Infrastructure Pipeline, National Infrastructure Pipeline, this is one of the initiative they have taken. Number two, if you see, they have taken, you can say, initiative with respect to PM Gati Shakti, PM Gati Shakti Yojana. Okay, and number three, okay, number three initiative has been taken with respect to National Logistic Policy. National Logistic Policy, where government is emphasizing on the development of, you can say, around 35 multi-modal logistic parks. Okay, multi-modal logistic parks, and the objective is to reduce the logistic cost. So currently our logistic cost is around 13 to 14% of GDP, and we want to reduce it to less than 10% of GDP. less than 10% of GDP. Clear? Okay. Clear? Okay. So this is the thing. Okay. Now there are some doubt, like one student is asking, sir, what about GM mustard? Okay. Now beta, GM mustard, if you see, GM mustard has now not been given approval. Okay, so in India we are using only BT cotton, that is a genetically modified crop. So for items like cotton we don't eat it. Okay, so we have not given any approval for any edible food item or edible item. Okay, so that is why I have not mentioned you GM mustard. Okay, now one student is asking, sir, I am confused how to say. So the 2-3 students are asking that how to. Don't worry, I'll connect you in these classes, but later on after 13th, once my course will be over, that is this thing, then you have to further carry on that legacy. So I'll make you clear the concept, plus whatever updated current affairs are there, I'll update you with that. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay, just you revise it, and even after that you have any problem, so you have my number, you can message me anytime, and some of you message me, and as I promise you that I'll reply you within 24 hours, and I do that also, don't worry about it. Okay, so ultimately this is, you can say, some of the initiative taken to improve the quality infrastructure. Now in quality infrastructure, our government is also emphasizing on improvement of warehouse and cold storage. Okay, so if you see in newspaper that government is developing warehouse on a pilot basis, means in some small area only, on a pilot basis with the help of cooperatives, okay, or you can say especially primary agriculture credit societies, primary agriculture credit society. So we are developing, you can say, warehouse and cold storage with the help of cooperatives. Okay, plus government has also introduced the concept of e-warehouse receipts. Although we'll talk about this e-warehouse receipts, okay, in our agriculture chapter. Okay, so these are the things that government is doing with respect to structural inflation. Clear? Now one of the student has mentioned in the group that, sir, fiscal drag is not good for middle income. Why? Okay, see, this is what you have given the statement, but I'll say that whenever there is a fiscal drag, okay, it is going to benefit all, because in fiscal drag, due to inflation, okay, income of all the people are increasing. Okay, income of all the people are increasing, so normally it is good for everyone. Okay, normally it is good for everyone. Clear? Provided in our country, you can say in Indian economy, fiscal drag has challenges. Why? Because we have a more unorganized economy as compared to organized. Okay, so if suppose, like right now our government is trying to make every part of the economy organized one. So once it is organized, then it is have a benefit. So you can say there can be no direct answer like this, yes or no. Okay, so ultimately everything comes with some conditions. So ultimately fiscal drag will be helpful once your economy will be organized. Clear? Clear? Because in the case of unorganized, we have seen that the benefit of increased income does not pass to the unorganized sector. That is the concern. Otherwise, if this is passed to the unorganized sector, then it is good. Clear?